Welcome to the Art of Dress. Today I'm going to share with you styling secrets for sculptural artistries. So I'm very happy to share this with you. It's actually very exciting, I think. So thank you for coming, and thank you always for subscribing. When you look at this beautiful picture of Rubina Dian, a Spanish model, you can see that so many of the sculptural aspects that we've talked about already are included here. For one thing, her head is absolutely the most dominant aspect of her outfit. She has a hat. It's rounded at the top of her head. She has sculptural makeup. She's wearing a much stronger eye makeup than lip makeup. And she has also a veil bringing more attention up to her face, up to the top of her head, because for sculptural artistry, you're always accessorizing your head in a stronger way than your body. And the third thing that's happening here is that even though her earrings are not super powerful, you can see that her necklace, which by the way fits not like a choker, but right at the base of her neck, is curved. It is not dominant. So let me go back and show you the qualities one more time of sculptural forms. And to do this, we're going to look at our sculptural symbol. And so when you have a sculptural artistry, your forms are open, they are three-dimensional or curved, and they are firm. So you've already seen ways that this translates into hair, makeup, and jewelry. And that's going to be part of today's video, but I also want to focus on other aspects that come about as a result of these three qualities of form. And specifically by other aspects, I mean other aspects of styling. So the first thing, when you are a sculptural artistry, you are no longer feeling your body like some kind of architectural, almost like a building, as if you were architectural artistry. Now you are feeling yourself as a living sculpture. So when you think about if you were to go and touch a statue, the statue is not soft, the statue is firm. And likewise, the sculptural artistry is using forms that are firm. But they're also curved and rounded, just like a statue of a human is going to have curved arms, curved muscles, everything curved, but still firm. So in this amazing headpiece and earring combination, which I think that's Josephine Scriver, you can see that the ideas of sculptural artistry are still holding here, because the earring, and of course you wouldn't even need much of a headpiece, but look at that headpiece that goes, and you can see how much stronger that is than her necklace. You can see other things too. You can see that all the sort of sculpture all the texture that you're getting in her jewelry is picked up in her dress by having appliques that form texture. But the most important thing here is that you can see that these forms are really corresponding to the sculptural idea. Not only is her earring open, you can see it's like a hoop, all of the ornament is migrating to the outside. And remember, that's the key. The energy is working out. And then another thing is, even on those flowers, look at how those insides are kind of dark. So you still get the impression of openness even in the forms themselves. So this is really an ideal example of what sculptural artistry is all about. Although there are only two colorings that could even begin to wear this size of jewelry. And we'll talk about that when we get to coloring. But size regardless, the most important thing is that the head is more powerful than her body. And that actually takes you into one of the ideas we talked about in architectural, but now applied to sculptural. and that was that every artistry has a rhythm. And that's why I say that styling is like music, because it has a rhythm, and it's a rhythm that you keep all through your styling. So let's take, for example, here you see this is a perfect example of a sculptural artistry. You can see that the headpiece is really strong, but it doesn't even match the jewelry, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. And then the earrings are stronger than the necklace. Of course, the headpiece is also very strong, but the most important thing here, the earrings are stronger than her necklace. But when you look at the whole thing in combination, what you're getting is a strong head, a strong earring or replacement like a veil, and a less strong necklace. So it's 2 strong beats and 1 soft or weak beat. It's a rhythm of 3. So that's the rhythm for sculptural artistry. And now we're going to see that repeated over and over again in all kinds of aspects. So let's go there. So here you see, this is an example that I love to look at, because this time the necklace is a little bit bigger. And it still has gemstones, it still has curvature, it still has, the gemstones are seeming quite open next to the metal. And so it has all these aspects. And although the necklace is stronger, it's still nowhere near as strong as her earring. And then her headpiece is obvious, but it isn't really strong at all. But what it is doing is showing the curvature. And that is how she's repeating that aspect of form. So this gives you another idea of a way to achieve the 1, 2, 3. And what you find out is that the 1 doesn't have to be as strong as the 2, the earring, right? So this is a really wonderful example of sculptural styling. And I just want to say thank you to Dolce & Gabbana, because a lot of my pictures of sculptural styling are drawn from Dolce & Gabbana. And they're really carrying the torch. There are some others too, Prada sometimes, and there are so many houses where the styling is amazing. But Dolce & Gabbana stand out for their commitment to sculptural artistry. So it's really fun to see. So the reason, moving from the idea of just the curvature of headpiece, in the last picture, here you can see another example of a curvature of headpiece in this kind of a sort of an updated version of a pillbox hat. And you can see that, again, just showing that curvature of the head, in other words, repeating the curvature of her head in her hat, is really, really effective for her. And of course, a pillbox is great because it is firm. Now here is another example, this time with a fedora. And in this fedora, you can see that it's not completely rounded, but it's definitely not flat. All the forms are curving in and sort of leaves your eye to complete the artistry. Notice those great earrings, amazing sculptural earrings, and look how good they look with that hat. And in this case, she's using her collar to finish the rhythm, because you can see it forms the look of a necklace. It's wonderful, in fact. And now we have Iman Hammam to show us what else is happening with sculptural styling. Although we've already actually seen it in some of these pictures, I haven't pointed it out. But now I want to point it out, because we've got the curvature, we've got the rhythm 1, 2, 3. We've got the idea of basically reveling in firm form with curvature that gives you the feeling of being a living sculpture, a living statue. But one more thing is happening, and this is a result of what was on our first diagram, and we've talked about many times, and that is openness. So openness doesn't just mean open earrings, open links, although it means those things. It means another thing as well, and that is, it means an urge to extend. So if you think of a closed form, a filled-in form, Then you have the urge to shorten, the urge to contain. But the open form is the urge to extend. And you'll frequently see that sculptural artistries will wear some form of a veil, a hoodie, something like this, that's like as she's doing here in this amazing photograph, showing this extension. So now let me show you other ways that sculpturals have used extension to further style themselves and to really not only reiterate their styles, but their artistry, I should say, reiterate their artistry, but emphasize it and almost like revel in it. It's amazing. So the first example is earrings are always being extended, as you can see in this wonderful example here. And it does not mean that the earring should or has to be in any way like a skinny vertical. It's really better if it stays like this, where you have open forms as well, three-dimensional open forms, but just with extension, still stronger than the necklace. In fact, if you get too skinny on the earrings, you start to reference architectural. So it's really important, in fact, that those three-dimensional curved open forms be referenced in earrings in order to stay harmonious with your own artistry if you are sculptural. But extension in the earrings is my first example of extension. And here is the second example. Obviously she has really long earrings, but what she also has is extension on her garment. In the top, it's showing here extension of fringe by repeating it at the bottom, and extension of all these magnificent jewels by repeating them throughout her top. And of course, it isn't just the top. Many sculpturals take this and extend throughout their bodies depending on styles, what the style allows you to do in terms of a broken line, an extended line, whatever's happening here. And in this case, you even see it at the very base, at the hem of her pant. Look, she has a braid with extension of her gold theme that's going on here. So just so cute. Now, another way of extending is with a shoulder strap instead of a short strap on a handbag. And this is very, very common, and you can see how amazing it is. Notice how many sculptural elements here. Texture in her outfit. She has a long earring with rounded forms, and then she has the same rounded forms in her necklace, but not as strong. And then she's repeating those forms in her open forms in her chain, and then on her bracelet, and then on the purse itself. It's just wonderful, so cute. Now, a sweater is another example of extended forms, and you will notice that this sweater is actually not too soft. You see how it hangs very straight, and it gives you a little bit of this feeling of firmness, and that is very common for sculptural styling. And another thing that you see here for the first time is, or that I've really pointing it out, I guess, is that not only is she wearing a necklace that's curved, she is also wearing beads that extend her rhythm, beads in the rhythm of 3. So the first rhythm was head, earring, or something to substitute, and a smaller necklace, 1, 2, 3, and now that rhythm of 3 repeated in long beads. Very, very effective for her. And here we have it again. And now we're basically starting back in time, because while that was a modern picture, this is now looking at the 80s and 90s, and this is Linda Evangelista, sculptural, and you can see all the elements. You can't really see her headpiece. She has something going on, and an earring that is stronger, and then a small necklace, and then the repetition of 3 beads with a jacket that has some element of firmness to it, even though it's not perfectly firm, nor does it need to be. Just a little idea of firmness to sort of allude to the artistry here. And again, 80s and 90s, we have Shalom Harlow, So many models were sculptural in this time. And Shalom Harlow Sculptural, again, bows at her head. There were so many, I came up with 40 pictures I had to cut of showing you different ways of ornamenting the head that were done in the 80s and 90s. But if you want to look for yourself, by all means go back and look at pictures online, because there are so many examples. And then a stronger earring, a less strong necklace, and then her satchel, I don't know what to call that, is open like a shopping bag. So not only is it a little bit long of a strap, not really so long, but the bag being open is once again showing that open form. You almost never see this with artistries that used closed forms. So 80s and 90s. Now let's go to the 70s. Here we have an Yves Saint Laurent. I'm sorry, I don't know who the model is, but very strong earring with sculptural forms and repetition of beads down her front. Again, all of the aspects of the ornament on this are actually sculptural. And then going back farther into the 60s, now we see Jackie Onassis, and she is wearing she's sculptural, a strong earring, a very small necklace. You can see that her eye makeup is stronger than her lip, even though she doesn't have liner. She's one of those, she's one of the colorings for sculptural that does not wear strong makeup, but she has a lot of highlight under her eyebrow, and then she has very pale lipstick. And then she has beads. I don't know if you can barely see them, but that extension. Plus, she's wearing an extended blazer, not a short jacket, but a longer blazer, textured as well. Very, very cute. And you can see that her artistry was excellent. But here's the person who is just a legend, and she's a legend because of her artistry. Now, she does a lot of other things well in her style, not possibly quite as consistently, but her artistry is dead on in almost every picture. And that's saying something, because that's over something like 25 years while she had her designer career. So Coco Chanel, here you are, strong emphasis at her head. She's almost always in a hat. This one is like a turban, perfect for showing the rounded at the top of her head. Strong earring, a small necklace, and then 6 layers of beads. So she's got this 3 going, 1, 2, 3 down to her small necklace, 3 more beads, 3 more beads, rhythm of 3 all the way through. So successful. Just amazing. Thank you so much, Coco Chanel, for this and many other amazing examples of sculptural artistry in your styling. And finally, I just wanted to finish with a modern picture, because sculptural is not dead. This is a model named Damaris Gaudry. I don't know her very well, but I'm just showing you quite the most spectacular example of sculptural styling done today, wearing, like I said is so often the case, a hoodie, which is of course the same kind of idea as you would get with a scarf or a veil, any of those things. A sculptural earring that is the strongest element, open forms, 3-dimensional, small necklace, quite a bit smaller, still not that small, but quite a bit smaller. So the emphasis is all at the head. Also, do you notice her makeup? Amazing. And then 3 following chains. So she's got the rhythm of 3 in her styling, and of course, sculptural elements all over her jacket. Just incredible. So thank you so much for sharing this with me today. It is a pleasure to show this to you, styling secrets for the sculptural. And next week, I'm going to show you styling secrets for harmonic artistry. So thank you again for coming. One more time, thank you for subscribing. In the meantime, please take care.